to have a speech or anything, but just some reflections and thoughts about where we started from and where we're at now and what we got to do going on into the future. Come this Thursday, June 19th, will mark the 160th anniversary of the last slaves being informed of their freedom from slavery, known as Emancipation Day. And as we're here, we cannot forget the past and expect the future to be good, right?
Right.
I think all of us here today would not hesitate to say that slavery was a cruel, evil, vile period in the history of America. Yeah. When we think about it, I was just looking, coming up, most slaves in forced labor worked approximately 18 hours a day. Kids as young or as 5 or 6 year olds were out in the fields working in forced labor, all for the plantation owners to make profit. In 1865, at the end of the Civil War, when the Emancipation Proclamation was given, it was estimated that the value of forced slave labor was $4 billion in 1865. And if we translate that in today's numbers, that would be like $152 billion. We know that slavery was wrong, but slavery helped build this country. Slavery helped build what we have today. And through the course of the lives of black citizens in this country, we've gone through many periods. Right after slavery, the sharecropper era, the Great Migration, and of course, I'm sort of a baby boom, and that's why I know all the songs and music that's going on today.
Yeah, he's our brother that way.
In that era, and it's that was the era of all the Jim Crow laws and segregation and so forth. If you're born after 1965, you really don't know a whole lot about it. But as a teenager and as a youth, probably the first 13 years of my life, I lived in total segregation. I was a Newtown Road kid, Newtown, which is Newtown Road now, but back then it was just Newtown, along with Needmore and some of the adjacent streets. And it was sort of the worst of times, but yet it was also some of the best of times. I can remember the colored-only sections in restrooms, water fountains, etc. A small short story. Two of my best buddies in high school, Freddie Taylor, Donnie Turner, were all free-range kids, and we loved, if we weren't working in the garden or working somewhere around the house, we'd get on our bikes and roam through town. And we always loved going over to Moses Restaurant, which was right across from the courthouse, to get those hot dogs. But unfortunately, in the cook there was Miss Lucille Clater, probably one of the best cooks ever in Floyd County, Virginia. But we always had to go in the back door, in the kitchen door, to get those hot dogs, and then ride back to Newtown to eat and celebrate and have a good time. And I just say that to say that, times are changing, but yet some things never change. So that's why I think we do need to stay vigilant. We need to stay active. I'm so proud of our local Democratic Party for hosting the No Kings protest today.
Woo!
March. That says a lot about Floyd County and hopefully the direction we're headed. But we all need to be involved. We can't sit back and look for some great leader to fall out of the sky and do the job. It's us. We're the leaders that we're looking for. I know Fred is coming up with things about voting here in a minute, but one of the most important things all of us can do is vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice, and you got to get to the polls and vote.
As if we ever voted again. That's if
Other
we can never
things that I
vote
feel
again.
like we all need to do is just be visible. Here in Floyd County, it's a small community. Basically, everybody knows everybody, but go to your school board meetings, go to your board of supervisors meetings, go to your town council meetings. Your presence is important. Go there, take part, volunteer for things. As we've already talked about, protest is patriotism, okay? Nonviolent protest, a lot going on in the country right now, but
A nice combination
protesting is
today.
just as important as
Both of
waving the
that's
flag. You're just as patriotic when you do your civic duty by doing those things.
Amen.
Join organizations. I know the local Floyd, Radford, Montgomery chapter of the NAACP is back in the back under the green tent. It's an organization that basically back in the day when I was growing up, that about every black person in Floyd was a member of the NAACP, but it's not just a black organization. It's for all colors, all races, all creeds, and they do some great things. I can again give you a personal story. I wasn't actually involved, but those that have been around a while know that in 1959, the Floyd County High School students, anybody in grades 9 through 12, had to ride a bus from Floyd County to Christiansburg to attend Christiansburg Institute, which was about 22 miles each way every day just to get a high school education when there were 3 high schools in the county, Floyd, Willis, Check. And through the efforts of the NAACP and parents, there was 13 families that sued to integrate the Floyd County schools, and they were integrated in 1960. And Floyd County, there was only one senior in that group by the name of Daisy Penn, and I always want to mention Daisy because Daisy was the first
I think she was
black
here last
student to
year.
graduate from a integrated high school in Southwest Virginia, and the second in the entire state of Virginia, and
I
that
missed
was
last year,
back in
but I think the
1960.
year before I was
So
here, and I
a
think
lot
she
of
was
the legal
here.
work and efforts that allowed that to happen was through the NAACP. But for all of us, you know, we got to get out. We got to stand up for what we believe in. You know, I've lived a long time, not as long as Ralph. Left.
It's Ralph.
But
He
I've been
was my
around. I can tell
woodman.
you,
Oh,
there's some struggles to be
I
fought
had him up
as
dancing
we
a while ago.
continue. There's more hatred and vitriol that I've seen in my lifetime. And it's just up to us that are here. I know I'm sort of preaching to the choir, but we've got to stand up for what's right. Stand up. We can't let them turn back the clock. We can't let them eliminate DEI regulations and so forth. We need to boycott people that are doing away with DEI. We can't be ashamed of saying we're woke. Woke is nothing more than standing up for fighting indiscrimination against racial and social injustice. And I think anybody here today is for justice, right? It's for